evening, all you Minties, and welcome back to another episode of Reelz Talk with your host, the amazing Amanda, and my lovely co-host, the Uncanny Omar.
How's it going, everybody? Happy May the 7th be with you, or whatever Star Wars-y thing you all say on this very day.
No, Omar, I was trying to delete a part of my fanfics.
Boy. This week and last week, Amanda set up the stream, and there were a couple of lines. I was like, I don't think this is supposed to be in here from last week, so I deleted them. This week, I'm like, maybe it's a line that Anakin said that I don't remember, so I was like, I'm just going to let her know before I delete it. So, yeah, everybody, that is Amanda. Amazing Amanda right there with One Track Mind, and it's not on Star Wars. I can guarantee you that. Wow. Okay. How is everybody doing? Did everybody enjoy their Cinco de Mayo or
their May the 4th?
Or May the 4th, yeah. Or did you go and see Thunderbolts? Well, what happened? What's going on? How's everybody doing?
How was your free comic book day? I'm already losing it.
Oh, that's right. Free comic book day. That was a lot of fun. We were in Columbus, Georgia. Georgia at Sentinel Comics. It was a lot of fun. It's my buddy's first free comic book day at his shop, so I was really excited to be there.
That is really cool.
Yeah, I ate tacos for Cinco de Mayo.
Nice.
Oh, good for you, Ryan. Good for you, buddy. Amanda already losing it. We ain't even talked about the damn script in this movie, and she's already losing it. Isn't it Fall Out Boy month or some for Amanda? It is. There's no such thing as Fall Out Boy month. They don't even have a day nor an hour.
20th anniversary of From Under the Cork Tree on Saturday. Take
good evening, Amanda and Omar. I'm working all the time, and I bought myself a bass guitar last week. That's awesome, dude. And poor Amanda, she just keeps having internet problem. With all the diamond issues, could this be the last FCBD?
Well, that's a good question.
I don't know. I like to be optimistic about things, but I'm also a realist. I don't know. I'll be honest. It's tough because the industry is just shaking up right now with everything going on, and there's so much uncertainty with talk of tariffs and emails being sent out by distributors. And it's not just comics. Again, I always like to stress the fact that this is affecting everything if you're a collector of physical media. But keeping our heads up, hopefully everything will be fun and we'll have another wonderful free comic book day next year. What a great question. What are your guys' favorite Star Wars comics? And anybody in the chat can answer. For myself, I love Dark Empire. It's probably my absolute favorite. It was during the Dark Horse era, and it's all after episode 6. So it's about Han and Leia's kids perhaps joining the not so light side. If you haven't read it, there's a lot of good ones, from the classic era. That and the Old Republic just blew me away. From the new era, oh my gosh, Star Wars by Jason Aaron was solid. Darth Vader by Kieran Gillen and Dr. Aphra. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, they're all right there in the row.
I don't think I finished watching The Acolyte. Did I
finish
watching
it? You had to have finished it. We reviewed it.
Oh, it was so bad, dude.
Yes.
It was so bad.
Yeah.
Free comic book day is overrated. Your mom is overrated, Ryan.
Not just comics now are affected, though. We all heard the news. It looks like movies are getting tariffed too. So guess what? Everything's going to be made by AI if we can't do it.
Shut up. Don't say that. 100% tariffs on films produced outside of the U.S. is going to kill the indie movie, folks. There goes all of A24. Star Wars is dead. Of course. You guys are weird. We are. And that's why you're here. The Acolyte was awful. The Thread. What? So the lesbians could Did they? Because you watched a different show than I did.
Yeah, I don't remember that happening at all.
That would have moved the ranking up some if I saw some of that.
There was more action in that way in Andor.
Are you talking about the sisters? You're talking about the sisters, right?
That's weird.
Hey, Revenge of the Sith. This man right here, whose name I hate to even say out loud.
Wolverine. I'll say it for you.
I'll let Amanda say it. Revenge of the Sith is the most aesthetically pleasing Star Wars movie. That's a hill I'm willing to die on. Boy, That and Cyclops is better than Wolverine are two lonely hills.
That's an okay, hill to die on. If you said like Phantom Menace, I would.
My dude, have you seen the dude dressed as Cyclops, like busted on Wolverine? He's like everything he says about Wolverine, he's like whack, whack. Oh my god, it's so funny. He did one for Miles Morales talking about Peter Parker, and what was the other one that Reed Richards talking about Dr. Doom, busting on Dr. Doom. Dude, it is hilarious if you ain't seen it. Wolverine, the AI story. You know what? That might be actually better than the Wolverine. Sony's gonna kill it with AI Venom movies.
No more Venom
what we already got.
That's not what
Jokes on y'all. AI is going to be riding. I don't think Ryan is real. I think
Ryan is AI bot.
Andor was so good. You haven't seen season 2 yet? We're not gonna spoil episodes 7, 8, and 9. We're gonna kind of give our thoughts about it because our main goal here is to talk about Revenge of the Sith. Whatever. Omar, do you think Clone Wars or Menace revealed will make the most wanted? I think Clone Wars might make it in the top 60, brother. I went to buy a guitar stand and it literally went up in price before I got to the checkout. One of the workers shouted from across the store.
That's wild. What a story.
That sucks, man. Before you checked out.
You're like, it's only like 2 minutes before I made the decision. You should have made it faster, Matt, on what you
Wow. Yeah. Don't call him out. You have to think about it. Just wait till Skynet starts happening. I'm reading KOTOR at the moment, and I'm just starting the Vector arc. Yeah, it's incredible. Dude, I hadn't read it until the first printing of the Omni, and I was blown away about how just how good that era was. Ryan Wilson is Skynet. That might be the nicest compliment Ryan Wilson ever has gotten. Did some research with our talk. Tariffs are starting up on disc since they are made in Mexico. Now, is it like across the board, Bruce, like a certain percentage, like 15%, 14%, something like that? Skynet was right. But okay. So today, yes, we're going to talk a little bit. You want to talk a little bit about Andor first?
Yeah, we can do that.
Move on. So one of the things there is like I said, no spoilers. Benjamin Bratt is actually replacing a character, a well-known established character played by a different actor in episodes 2 and 3 primarily. And Rogue One. So that was something interesting.
And Revenge of the Sith. Wait, hold on. In all of the movies.
Episodes 2 and 3. Revenge of the Sith is the third movie.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
So yeah, this show is so damn intense. Episode 8 is one of the best TV episodes of Star Wars I've seen. It was so good. It was, and it's so stupid, right? Like if I took a step back and say, wait, I already know where this damn story is going. Why do I care? But you just like get so involved, man. It's like awful things are happening that we didn't see. Like I didn't see this big thing happening in episode 8. I thought it was crazy. And I can't wait to see episodes 10, 11, and 12, wrapping up the series that leads us directly to the Rogue One. I thought this is some of the best television out there. So I'm glad that Disney Plus is putting something out there like Andor. And sometimes, like in episode 8, I honestly forget it's a Star Wars freaking show until the stormtroopers show up. And I'm like, oh, that's right. It's so weird to see them in that. Like it's hard to talk about without giving
also
away.
Because people have better aim in this show than they do in the actual Star Wars movies.
Ouch. Shots fired. Or
shots fired. Really. If you shoot someone, there's a good chance they're going to go down. And that is quite evident in these last 3 episodes that we have seen of Andor so far, season 2. Dom of X's.
For illegal disc racist.
So, yes. Episode 8 was probably one of the most intense moments of television I've seen in a while. And then episode 9, obviously, the way it ended, I didn't realize there was actually 3 more episodes. So when episode 9 ended,
I didn't either until Amanda texted me because I had one more episode.
It's a weird way to end, like forever. And then I was like, oh, never mind. There's 3 more episodes. That makes more sense. But everything's starting to come together. And I actually just rewatched Rogue One, and it's nice to see everything's making more sense now. Like it's gonna be really cool.
One of the
Cassian's hair, but that's about it.
I don't know how the internet is reacting to this, but like one of the things that I was hoping to see is more appearances by Rogue One actors or actresses.
Well, but Saw Gerrera's in it.
Right. I meant like more.
Oh, you mean?
I don't want to spoil who shows up in this, but it seems like we're finally getting there. I don't know who else we'll end up seeing this season, but it was really interesting.
It was
and 25% across the board. Holy crap! Comics, dude, distribution was 14%, which to a lot of little stores, that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money, guys.
The Phantom Menace Outrage YouTube channels get their name from the Phantom Menace. Revenge of the Sith is the best Star Wars movie.
Alex, how old are you? So I'm curious about this because
he's got a John Byrne Cyclops there, so he can't be.
That does not mean anything because I talked to a 21-year-old who is going through the entire X-Men series from
Were you
the beginning.
Babysitting them?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not babysitting him. He's in a band that I interviewed.
You're talking to a 21-year-old about X-Men.
Because he's in a band that I interviewed for my other podcast, and we started talking about comics.
Oh, there's no other podcast. There's only Near Mint Condition. And that's okay.
21-year-old
that's going through X-Men and likes the old stuff.
Yeah, he loves Silver Age comics. He said. So I was like, oh, wow. So I'm telling him all the writers I like. It's like, oh, so you're the newer stuff, and I was like, damn.
Wow, he looked down. He frowned upon you. He's like, that's why I'm a musician, and you're interviewing me at 21.
Yeah, right.
Damn, shots fired at you.
He was like in the Claremont area right now. So he said, like, I think he said Genesis was his favorite story, one of his favorite stories. And then what else did he say?
The Mutant Genesis story?
Yeah, Mutant Genesis, yeah.
Andor's awesome. Arc 3 is the best. Oh, Arc 3 is absolutely the best arc out of Andor season 1 and 2. I love the prison arc. I love the prison arc, but this last arc, oh. Omar, how's the Avengers reading order? I'm working on it some tomorrow. I don't know if I'll do the filming, but I'm kind of hopefully wrapping up it's so different doing it now that I'm writing down documentation. All the Jake Lloyd got, all the hate Jake Lloyd got. He was 8 years old. Probably turned out really bad, I think, didn't he?
I think he did, kind of, actually.
Going to start it. Be ready for the finale next week. I'm excited. Star Chasers, the Legend of Orin animated Star Wars movie is better than Return of the Jedi. Shots fired, be positive. Return of the Jedi was my favorite Star Wars movie. I'm going to watch Andor later tonight. Revenge of the Sith stood out because it was really dark compared to the first two, which were kind of childish.
Well,
if you were in Star Wars, what species would you be racist against? What makes you think I would be racist in Star Wars?
What makes you think that we would be racist?
We don't serve your kind around here. Who would that go? Definitely not the droids because they'd come in handy.
What about the separatists? What's that race?
The separatists, the Empire. We don't serve your kind around here. I don't know. I've never thought about this question. That's an interesting.
Neither have I. By the way, Jake Lloyd has been struggling with schizophrenia and has been in and out of mental health facilities.
Oh man.
And it looks like he's at a detention center. So it sounds like he's been in some.
Yeah, you see a lot of these kids that had issues like that, you can always expect the internet to react calm and respectful at all times.
Yep, every time.
Personally, to me, as time has gone on and Disney, for all their faults, have produced a lot of bad Star Wars content, people now look back at the prequels and realize they weren't as bad as they thought. I kind of think the other way. Now, keep in mind, I'm 47. And I went into the prequels like a lot of Gen Xers did, and came out like, I didn't expect episode 1 to be watching CNN. Like, what is this talk of Senate? What the hell is happening? Wait a minute. The Force are little microscopic creatures that are inside of your body. You know what I'm saying? Like, you grew up with Star Wars, and in your head, you imagine all these cool things happening. Going back to the sequels, at least episode 7. I haven't watched Last Jedi but one time, nor Rise of Skywalker. What's the third one called?
Rise of Skywalker from the.
Yeah, I've only seen those twice.
think I've seen it twice. Yeah.
Force Awakens I've seen a few times. I still think it's actually a pretty decent movie. It's got practical effects. Holy crap! What happened to the practical effects idea during this time? Man, there was some bad CG in this.
Oh, really bad CG in Revenge.
Right. Oh, it was rough, guys.
I mean, it was hard for me to focus when I'm thinking about the dialogue. So,
whose son are you talking to, man?
I'm not talking to anyone's son. First of all, also, I didn't know Arjun's only 20. God bless Arjun. I thought you just come across like an old soul.
Really? Have you not seen the way he talks to me? He's like, Omar, where's this at? I like Arjun. He's good people. I do like Revenge of the Sith, but I absolutely hate Hayden Christensen as an actor. And I feel like he was a major miscast for Anakin. Don't cancel me. No, everybody's entitled to your opinion. Look, despite of how we feel about this movie and our review, whether we love it or not, I don't know. We have yet to share our thoughts. If it's something you love, that's all that matters. If it was like your childhood, I completely understand why you love it. Like my childhood was like Return of the Jedi. So that's why I will like that is a special like memory of me going to the movies.
How old were you when that came out?
That came out in Peru in 1983. Okay. So I was about 4 or 5 years old whenever it came out. Yeah. So that I always have special memories of. So no matter what, you know, and even if you see it on the internet, oh, this movie sucks. And the crazy thing is, as much as people hate the sequels, that will also be some kid's first Star Wars movie. And they're like, what are you guys talking about? The Force Awakens was awesome, or Last Jedi was the best Star Wars movie. Again, Revenge of the Sith is the best film of the prequels, but still terrible. I
don't know. The reviews say it's not so bad.
But what reviews are you talking about? I remember it got really bad reviews when it was coming out.
Well, so when you look on IMDb,
overuse of CG is what I saw. I remember reading a lot.
So when you look at like the obvious places, like
you guys actually have you're racist sports.
Oh my gosh. Wookiees are just big bears, guys. Come on.
Wookiees, they just smell bad, but you know what?
They're just like big old hairy men.
Big almost on the nose. Return of the Jedi was the first movie.
Yes, I'm so good, Alex. Thank you.
Right, Richard? You always remember your first, and then it like I know Empire, everybody, yeah, it's the better movie, but for me, it's gonna be Return of the Jedi. And you know what, dude? I want my original Ewok song. I don't want none of this epic music at the end. I want the chop that song back. Omar, are you planning on doing updates on the reading order videos? I'm starting with Avengers, but yes, later on this year. Jedis are rich. They have a beautiful headquarters, plenty of food. So why don't they end poverty and slavery? Because there are no more Jedi. Not anymore. They got all wiped out. The Empire actually hates all alien races.
Oh, I believe that.
I don't think you're too far off. That's why Razzies had to backtrack when they nominated the little girl for worst actor. Yeah, don't do that to kids.
Yeah, that's children. That's just like you can't when they're young. Why are you telling them they're bad actors?
The prequels are bad, but they have yes, there's still a lot of good in this. Don't get me wrong. Okay, so let's actually let's talk about it. Let's go ahead and talk about
it. Yeah,
this movie. And by the way, somebody mentioned Star Wars Clone Wars, the animated series, before the CG stuff. Like the animated, the cartoon one was solid, and so is the CG. Metal Viking, I tried typing my comment, but I accidentally pressed censor, so I never finished my sentence. Oh, it's all good, brother. Type it in. All right, Amanda. 20 years, first of all.
Look, I understand. A lot of 2005 from Under the Fall Boy and Revenge of the Sith. It was a great year for me because I was a big Hayden Christensen fan and also became a massive Fall Boy fan. This is a fantastic year for me overall. But no, so on Rotten Tomatoes, this has a 79%, and then it's like a 7.2 or 7.6 on IMDb.
Yeah, but Rotten Tomatoes wasn't around. Was it?
No, well, they aggregate older ratings too.
No, people rage review now. They didn't rage review back then. It would have affected the overall score.
Well, I think the average score on Metacritic is a 68, so still not terrible.
Okay.
Now, again, we don't have those. I don't know what the scoring looks like back then. Anyways, but it did have. It was a much better reviewed movie of the three in the trilogy. We already did Attack the Clones, so we know how well that was.
And this one was PG-13.
Yeah, this was PG-13. Definitely, maybe because the cringeworthiness of the dialogue.
Yeah.
Because I'm so in love with you. Are you saying love has blinded you? Well, no, not
Oh,
exactly.
that was really good, dude. That was really good. You sounded just like Natalie Portman, but
You're going down
most
the path I can't
amazing
follow.
hair or wig during this movie. And this is the first PG-13 movie because of all the Yinglings.
Hey, Ebert and Roper gave it a 2 thumbs up.
Oh yeah, I guess by then Siskel was gone, huh?
Yeah.
You're breaking my
heart. You're
okay. Okay. So yeah, this is the
everyone start quoting the movie. Okay.
This fits it as cringy as the lines in episode 2. I know you and I have done was it really that bad on episode 2?
But there are some.
Okay. So let's talk about the beginning. The beginning shows both Anakin and Obi-Wan a little bit older, and they're attacking a ship trying to get the Chancellor out, right?
Yes. Chancellor has been kidnapped by the Sith.
Count Dooku.
By Count
That
Dooku
scene was actually pretty cool. I remember in the theater, I was like, wow, this is starting awesome. Yeah. And you know what? And here's another thing. No matter what, no matter how bad these Star Wars movies are, and no matter how I go into them going, oh, here we go again. As soon as that music kicks on and you see the scroll come up, episode whatever, and I get excited. I become a kid all over again. So yeah, they go and rescue the Chancellor, right, from Count Dooku.
Yes.
And there's
some moments in there with like R2D2 having to start the elevator for them and get them to the top floor, and he's getting attacked by the droids, and there's a lot of cute moments in this scene, a lot of clever stuff. I like when they get trapped and he's like, we're smarter than this. How did we get trapped in this? He's like, what should we do? He's like, I say we try for patience. And I'm like, you don't try for patience very often, but okay.
I'll be honest with you. I completely forgot about the attempt at humor.
Oh, you did?
I forgot about that until I was rewatching it, and I was like,
it's kind of funny.
Like, no. Some of it works, and some of it I'm like, none of this is working, especially with the way Hayden delivers his lines.
I will say he does not necessarily deliver his lines in the best way. And I don't know how much of it's him, though I've seen other movies with him in it, and he does his sometimes his delivery does seem like strange,
I think sometimes Harrison Ford has gone on record saying that George Lucas is very picky about the way you deliver the lines, and he wants you to deliver them the way that he does. They would get into fights, like notorious fights, over the script. He was like, none of this makes any sense, George. And he was like, no, you deliver it the way it is. Found a review from 2005. In short, the film is watchable, though often ponderous and dull.
There are dull moments, like between him and Padme. In that one scene where I'm talking about how she's brushing her hair and talking about how she's like, I want to have the baby back on Naboo. What?
Acting. That was Natalie, man. She had to work.
I'm sorry. Anyways, yes.
So Count Dooku gets decapitated, and you're like, oh crap, man, this is not PG anymore.
Because what happens is Obi-Wan gets knocked out, and then basically the Chancellor, Darth Sidious, convinces Anakin to kill him. Spoilers. He wants him to leave Obi-Wan behind, and he's like, no, I mean his fate would be the same as ours, or whatever he says there. Well, that was all right. That was all right, though. That was all right. I watched this movie a lot. Damn it, I do like this movie.
I didn't realize you liked this one that much.
I think this is my favorite of all the Star Wars movies. This is my favorite. I think it's because of where the generation.
All the Star Wars movies. So 2005, you were 20 years old when this movie came out, or 1920. And so that and you went to go see it. You found a cute dude, and a lot of people probably went to go see it because of a cute guy, right? And they're like, I'll watch Star Wars if this hot dude's in it.
Well, I mean, not just one cute guy. You also had Ewan McGregor.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about Yoda
because I'd already seen the.
Well, what the dude? What?
What? He dies. A big unsheathed dong. I don't know.
Oh yeah, the guy hangs dong. I know.
Yeah,
he's talking about Ewan McGregor. Yeah.
Have you seen the film where he's naked now?
I didn't pause it, but yes, I did see it.
Well, okay.
I'm not drinking to that, but okay. Not pause it. Okay. Actually, let's rename this Revenge of Hanging Dong.
Dog.
All right.
Anyways, so, yes, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say then this takes us back to the planet where the Jedi are kind of refusing Anakin again to become a Jedi master. Mm-hmm. He will always be the Padawan, never the master. And this is starting to wear on him, and it kind of shows, like, if you're a fan of Star Wars, you know where this is going, the path that he's going. It still feels like it he flipped the switch pretty damn quick.
Yeah.
And I think that was always my issue with this, because like, how do you build this up? Like in episode 2, we saw him kill sand people, right? And he gave that whole speech. I killed them all. I hate them. Like even the children. And for some reason that turned on fucking Princess Amidala. She was like, oh, even the kids? Oh,
yeah, there's a lot in between that we needed to see between Attack of the Clones.
It's a weird relationship. He was a child. She was almost an adult. Like when
if this was like the emo scene of 2000s, she would be considered a sexual predator. I'm just gonna lay it out there.
She would have been canceled. Found another Mr. Lucas indifference. The two fairly important aspects of movie making. Acting and writing is remarkable. Ouch, man.
I mean,
ouch.
Yes.
Ouch. All right, so he's in love. It's a secret. They're gonna have a kid.
They're pregnant. Yep. Mm-hmm. They got married. We knew that.
Now, Yoda and the rest of the council send Obi-Wan instead of Anakin on a mission to go and find General Grievous. Grievous was a character from the Star Wars Clone Wars, the cartoon. He was an awesome character, too. And the first time that we saw a character come from the cartoon to a live-action show. It was really cool. And he's the dude, he fights with like 4 lightsabers. That's an awesome design. And he actually has like organs and stuff. Mm-hmm. General Kenobi. He's got like emphysema.
He's dying of like Star Wars cancer. I don't even know.
No. His lungs what happened was his lungs got crushed in the TV show. So that's they don't explain it, right? Because I remember watching it with Melanie in the theater, and she's like, "Why does he sound like he's been smoking?" I'm like, "Oh, well, you see in the cartoon they crushed his." Never mind. You don't care. Like I think it's really cool that they added that character.
That is really cool. No, I think General Grievous is a good addition. But again, yes, it does, without knowing anything about it, for a person who's not watching the Clone Wars or anything like that, it could be very confusing, I would imagine.
People are smart that watch Star Wars.
I was smart enough. It was fine.
It's a new character that has a coughing condition. That's all you need to know.
So Anakin and Padme are in love, but Anakin starts having visions. I believe it has been established that Darth Sidious has been putting these visions into his head. Am I wrong on this?
Was that a fanfic that you read, or
no, I don't know? I thought he was always kind of manipulating Anakin because he knew he was the one, and we all thought he was the one who's going to save us from the dark side.
I'm being nice to people that watch.
Not join them. You're famous for the dark side. Not join them. Okay.
Anyway. That line was delivered good.
It was good. That whole part. We were brothers, Anakin. Brothers.
Oh man, he's like crawling and stuff. And
that was great. That part was great. Right. We'll get there. Anyways, so Anakin has these visions that
apparently he had power to see the future because he was having dreams. Remember, he had the same thing with his mom. He kept having visions of his mom. That's why he went to go get her.
That's why he went to go see him. I still thought maybe that Sidious was playing a long game, but that's fine.
I mean, we do see Sidious and him have that bond that Sidious.
Yeah, they very early on. Attack of the Clones, they had it, and they definitely have it more here because he asks to make Anakin like his personal guard or something, which throws a lot of people off, especially Mace Windu and Yoda. He talks to Yoda about his vision of Padme dying in childbirth. Well, not really exactly, because no one knows that they're married, so he doesn't outright say, no, stop. First of all, Anakin Skywalker is older than me. The actor.
Not the little one.
Not Jake Lloyd.
She was grooming him.
She was, yes. Padme, yes.
I think we all wanted the PG-13. They
Everyone
could have gotten away with one F word. It's a PG-13. That would have been the time to drop it. Samuel L. Jackson.
The Jedi using the F word? I could never see that happening. So, yeah, and when
In
you think
Star
about how,
Wars,
yes.
don't they drop the S? Like, they're dropping shit all over the place in Andor.
Well, that's different, though.
It's still Star Wars.
Darker. Yeah, you're right. But it's also it's written in modern time and not.
This is true. The original actor in The Empire Strikes Back was a female actress who recently passed away, I want to say. But the voice was still the guy's voice. And then, of course, in the special editions, they did away with the actors and superimposed that face. By the way, superimposing happens a lot. If you're an old guy holding a lightsaber in this movie and you're having a lightsaber fight, your face is superimposed on somebody else's body. And sometimes it stands out. Other times you're like, oh, yeah. This is definitely Christopher Lee. Nope.
Yes. But then, okay, so then he's worried about Padme. Meanwhile, the Chancellor has asked that Anakin be his personal bodyguard. They agree, but they will not grant him the role of master. He's all pissed off about this. So then, of course, Obi-Wan leaves. This is probably a fatal flaw for the Jedi. They need him to stick close to Anakin, but they had to send someone to wherever General Grievous was. And I think was it Mustafar? No, Mustafar is where they end up. But originally,
that's the big fight.
That's where the big fight is. So, while he's away, the Emperor, takes, or the Chancellor, sorry, he's not the Emperor yet, takes Anakin to a play, a weird bubble play. And he tells the Chancellor about his dream without really getting into specifics. And the Chancellor starts telling him a story about a Dark Lord who was able to figure out how to...
Which movie, Krypton? Sorry. He said they used the F word in Star Trek over the past decade, and it just feels weird. Do you remember which... Was it a movie or the TV show? I don't remember.
The TV show on Discovery. If it was.
Anakin is denied his rank, Master Windows. Sit down, mother. Yeah, he was his personal representative. My goodness, repressive. Yeah. I was gonna mention something about Dune, but I don't want to spoil Messiah. Don't. Oh, you know what? I need to finish that show. Okay, go on.
Yes, but you're right. DWS. I'm gonna say DSW. Darth Plagueis monologue is a really good monologue. Ian McDiarmid does deliver very well, where he's talking about Darth Plagueis, and
Star Wars. It's all made
how
up.
He was able to keep people from dying or figure out how to keep people alive, and immortality essentially. And he showed it to his apprentice, who then killed him, basically. Yeah. And of course, Anakin's like, how does one learn this power? He's like, not from a Jedi.
That line was dope, man.
Also a great line. Great John Williams score in the background. Great John Williams score in the background. That's all happening. And then, of course, Grievous and Obi-Wan is on the planet trying to capture Grievous. And then we have kind of this whole thing where Anakin realizes that Palpatine is actually the dark Sith Lord. He tells Mace Windu, we have a confrontation. And then this is when he reveals that he is Darth Sidious, reveals his powers, and he ends up, they have a fight between the two of them, and then Mace gets him down, and he wants to kill him, and Anakin's like, no, we take him to the council. We have to stand trial. He's like, no, he's dangerous. And Mace is like, Mace is right. He's dangerous. This is an instance where this guy does not need a council. He is clearly the dark, he's the Dark Lord. He's Darth Sidious. He's very dangerous. And yes, that's right. You're correct.
Do I really have to watch the
actual? You didn't watch it. I remember that, and it would have been more.
Boy, I don't.
You don't? Oh, well, it would have been. Well, you probably would have if the show was better.
Okay. And is James here? James, what did we give the Acolyte? Wait, you forgot about the Grievous fight. Oh, she's getting there because this is happening at the same time that Kenobi is investigating where Grievous is
on Utapu or whatever,
and jumping on that ridiculous creature That reminded me. I remember The Last Jedi reminded me of that scene, and I hated that scene with the big iguana or whatever noise it made.
I love that scene.
Do it, Amanda. Do that noise.
I don't know.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Look, I like this movie a lot. I've watched it a lot.
Apparently you do, which is more power to you. All right, Amanda. Star Wars The Acolyte.
See, I told you.
You liked it a little more than I did. I gave it a 4 out of 10. Still not as bad as Secret Invasion. All right. Go ahead.
Wait. I said judgmental about who? Darth Plagueis?
Thought better of you, Amanda. Everyone deserves a fair trial. Who are you finding guilty already?
Wait, are we talking about Darth Sidious, the Dark Lord, the Chancellor, the Emperor? Yeah, no, that guy didn't need a fair trial.
He deserves a fair trial, according to Jean.
No, well, anyways, so
who actually believed Christopher Lee was doing all those acrobatic moves? Dude was in his 80s when both movies were doing it. No. I don't think Emperor Palpatine was jumping around like that either. But sometimes, the planet is pronounced.
Thank you, Mason Spencer.
Is that what the sound the creature makes is?
No.
All right, go on.
So when Mason's like trying to reason with Anakin that he's too dangerous to be left alive, Anakin says, "No, I need him," because he knows he's the only one who knows how to save Padme's, or thinks he knows how to save Padme's life. And he slices off Mace's hand, and then Darth Sidious, who's been, by the way, disfigured from
really quick
from like his like lightning reflected from like the lightsaber back onto him, and he gets all disfigured, and then he uses his lightning to basically shove Mace Windu out the window.
Not before he delivers one of the worst lines in the like, no, you will die. Power, unlimited power. What? Dude, I know Ian German was like, I'm not gonna. George, don't make me say that's stupid. Why am I gonna say that? Obviously, he knows it's power. Why do I have to explain?
Unlimited power.
Unlimited.
Oh,
I laughed in the theater, and I laughed again. And I'm like, all the shit I gave the sequels. All right, keep going.
Yeah, anyways, so that happens, and this is when he turns to Anakin, and he's like, I can teach you everything I know, and Anakin kneels and says, I will serve you, my master, and he appoints him as his new Sith apprentice, Darth Vader, and we get the whole dun, dun, dun. That's not how it sounds. You can't laugh.
You're just as good as making that iguana sound. Both comic adaptation official video games were released before the movie and spoiled the entire plot. I remember the trading cards spoiled episode 2. The comic adaptation spoiled episode 1. I don't remember. I think I stayed away from everything for episode 3 because I just didn't care. One more thing, Omar, please get Marvel to reprint Dr. Doom Omni. I can't justify paying $400. It almost made it to the top 20. And like I said when we announced them, if they do start reprinting a lot more, then I'll be happy to put the top 25 in there, which it did make it in there. Execute Order 60. That was actually pretty cool. I kind of like that.
Yes. So he executes. So that's happening. But let's not forget there is, the battle between General Grievous and
that was cool.
Which is a really great battle, but it does leave you thinking that he might have killed Obi-Wan, but we later learn that's not what happened. He just kind of escaped.
Because he fell off of his iguana?
He fell off the iguana. Yeah, he gets shot by like whatever General Grievous was hanging on to, and he gets shot off. So we think that he's, dead, but he's not actually dead.
Yeah, that was after the executing the Order 66, because that's when everybody turned on. That was pretty rough. Man, I felt really bad for the, I can't remember the lady Jedi's name. That gets like she didn't even get it. She's just like looking around,
and then bam,
she gets shot, and then like a giant leaf is blocking all the brutality happening. I wish they kind of had left them on.
Varactyl, thank you. That's
the Varactyl. Thank you.
With the
Amanda can make the Varactyl mating sounds. That's her.
They're all gonna be outside of my house when I get done. They're waiting for me.
Okay. like cosplayers or like actual giant iguanas? I don't know what kind of kinky shit you're into, but forget it. Never mind. Somehow a comic came out early in 1983 and spoiled Return of the Jedi as well. Mark Hamill found them and had to call the publisher and tell them to get the books out of stores. That is messed up.
Yeah, so Executive Order 66 is basically kill all the Jedi. He sends Anakin to the Jedi Temple. And that's where we get the scene where he kills all the younglings. And we talked about this in the last episode, but the little kid.
Oh, we're talking about episode 3, Cullen. We're talking about episode 3, not Andor. We already talked about Andor.
Yeah, we already talked about Andor.
Episode 3.
Yeah, so unless you haven't watched Revenge of the Sith and don't want to be spoiled about a 20-year-old movie, then come back later or stay. So the actor who played that little kid who was like, you know, talking to Anakin and he's all cute and little, who clearly gets it, he jumps back. So that scene, the actor as an adult was on TikTok and Instagram, and he recently talked about how Hayden Christensen had to make a noise because they were trying to get him to react. And he was a young kid. He was like, wasn't reacting the way they wanted him to. He kept looking at his lightsaber because he thought it was really cool. And they're like, no, look at him. Like, so in order to scare him, I guess off camera, Hayden Christensen's like, and it scared the kid. He wasn't expecting it. And that's how we got that scene. So behind the scenes kind of little stuff. So
why can't lightsabers cut through force fields?
I don't know. That's going to be a joke that we're going to
tell.
Is
it a joke? Because I'm waiting for the give it to me. I was born on Monday and went to see this at my local theater. I have so many gripes with episode 3 because I'm weird. I grew up with the Clone Wars and kept thinking, no, this shit didn't make any sense. You never saw the prequels? Colin.
Are you just ignoring them and think they don't exist? How does Andor make sense? Oh, wait, never mind.
He hasn't seen Andor. He said he hasn't seen anything past Rogue One. That's hilarious that, because I thought you were just a little bit younger than I was, and there was no way you could escape that. Like, it's like in Star Wars, it's coming back. We got to go see it. I know it was midichlorians and all, but, it's still Star Wars. Started watching Star Wars with the prequels as a kid. I thought the movies had run out of budget when I got to the original. No, they didn't. You know what we had? We had practical effects. Those are real people in them suits.
Apparently,
me no Wookiees in here.
Yes,
CG Wookiees.
CG Wookiees. That's right. Well, I mean, no, they still use real ones for these too. It's still a costume. That was a guy in costume.
Man, some of those look so fake. I saw the reissues in the theaters. Yeah, the special editions, right? Yeah. But you weren't interested in seeing the original? Like episodes 1, 2, and 3. We waited decades for that, man. Duel of the Fates.
Yeah, let's talk. Yeah, that is probably one of the best.
No, that's his punchline. Why can't lightsabers cut?
Oh, is that really the punchline?
Duel of the Fates. Help me out, Amanda. English is my second language.
No, I'm still trying to figure it out too. Someone smart.
Or maybe it's not a joke. Duel of the Fates, Darth Maul and Obi-Wan fight, but their lightsabers can't. Oh, he's asking, not making a joke, Amanda.
I thought it was a joke. It sounded like it was going to be a setup for a good dad joke. I'm so sorry about that. I don't know.
Midichlorians equals sea monkeys.
They are sea monkeys.
That reminds me of the episode of South Park.
So what happens? Okay. So
what happens, Amanda?
Order 66 has been executed. We even see Bail Organa, played by Jimmy Schmitz, in this movie. Whether or not he makes it to other things, we don't know. The actor, and he sees, like, he tries to go to the temple, and he sees like a young, like, teenage Jedi getting killed. And
Duel of the Fates.
Duel of the Fates. Is that the joke?
Duel of the Fates is gonna be my answer to all your questions now. Right.
So, meanwhile, we find out that Yoda has a fight, and so
he decapitates them dudes, man. He ends up
killing all the stormtroopers that try to turn on him, and then Obi-Wan. So they end up meeting up, and this is where they learn that the Emperor is actually a Dark Lord, and they see the actual, like, footage, the security cam footage of him, not only killing Mace Windu, but also Anakin becoming his, apprentice and turning to the dark side. Meanwhile, in the meantime, the Chancellor has now come to the Senate. And of course, Padme's there at the Senate. And he's all disfigured. He talks about this plot the Jedi had to kill him and do all these things to try to take over the government, and somehow convinces them to give him emergency powers and make him an emperor. And then we get the line from Padme. So this is how democracy dies. No, yes, with thunderous applause.
Yeah, that was a good line. That was a good line.
No, it was a great line. But, it's kind of
it's a good line.
Really relevant to today when you really think about it. When you really, really think about it, it really kind of mirrors our politics in a way.
Thunderous applause. I'm bitching about tariffs. What are you talking about?
Well,
okay. There's so many bad lines. Okay.
So, all right, so go ahead.
What happens next?
Oh, I thought you were gonna go. Okay, so basically, Yoda's like, I need to go take care of the Emperor, and Anakin was sent to Mustafar. Now that he, killed all the younglings and everything like that, he's been sent to Mustafar to kill Separatists, because that's where Grievous sent the Separatists, to Mustafar. So he goes there, he kills all of them, and of course, before he leaves, he does tell Padme, like, everything's gonna be okay, and she's like, I'm scared, Anakin, and he even leaves R2-D2 behind, and there's a part in that where R2-D2 and C-3PO are talking to each other, and R2-D2 beeps, and apparently what you don't hear is that, what you don't realize he's saying, I guess we learned this later in a long time from after the movies came out, is that he's saying, like, oh, he hasn't talked to me in a long time, I don't know what's going on. Like, so you can see, like, he used to be very close to R2-D2, but as he's falling deeper and deeper into the dark side, one of his first friends, R2-D2, has now become like almost a stranger to him, and even for R2-D2. So that's kind of what he says to C-3PO. And so they stay behind with Padme, who's like worried about him. And then that's when Obi-Wan goes to her to find out where he's gone. And he has to inform her that he's turned to the dark side and say, I've seen it with my own eyes. And she's like, I don't believe you. So of course, Obi-Wan sneaks onto her ship, because now she has to go find out from Anakin, who's on Mustafar, if it's the truth. Now keep in mind, he's already killed all the Separatists. So she gets to Mustafar. She comes down. Yeah, he doesn't talk to me anymore. I know. So it breaks my heart. I know. You don't. Yes, but he didn't say it but you learn later from like commentary.
Amanda is fluent in
droid speak. You learn it later on. I just like recently was reading anyway. Pat.
The deliveries of the love lines are so awful, man. It's only because I'm so in love. No, it's because I'm so in love with you. So love is blinded.
Like, well, no, that's not what I meant.
Well, that's not what I meant.
But it's probably true.
It's probably true. Like, what the? I remember the theater I looked at Melanie and I'm like, that is going to be part of my wedding vows, because if that doesn't take your panties off, I don't know what will. That was that was so weird. And imagine like both of the actors having to deliver those lines. Well, anyway, go on.
All right, so she shows up on Mustafar after he's killed all the Separatists, and they're having this discussion, and he's trying to tell her, like, he's doing all this for her and the babies, and that he's going to save her. And she's like, realize what he's done. And that's when she says the line, you're breaking my heart. You're going down a path I can't follow. And then he looks over his shoulder and he's like, now he thinks that her and Obi-Wan, you turned her against me. He's like, you're with him. And she's like, no, it's not. Like, she's like, I didn't even know he was on the damn ship. Like, what are you doing, Obi-Wan? What are you doing? He's like,
there's so much miscommunication here.
Yourself. And then he like grabs her by the neck with the Force and starts choking her. He's like, let her go, Anakin. Why am I repeating this?
Wow, this is like watching a play right now. You're pretty good right now. You can even play the lizard. So good.
Whole thing. And so he lets him go. Yeah, he did think they were begging, because that's like, there's a fan fiction to be had there. Oh yeah, your new empire. Oh man. So then we start the fight, the epic fight with the duel, with the ultimate, with what's the song called in that plays? What's the big thing?
That's this is one of my favorites.
No, this is one of my favorite ones.
It's just Obi-Wan versus Obi-Wan versus Anakin. That's all it's called. Like, it's not like Duel of the Fates or anything. And even though Duel of the Fates
Battle of the Heroes, no, Battle of the Heroes, that's what it's called. I knew it was something like that, yeah.
Oh yeah, Battle of the Heroes also, like, it's also what it's called too. But I think in like one of the tracks it's just Obi-Wan versus what's it called?
Okay, well for this one it's called Battle of Heroes.
Yeah, that's the one that plays on Mustafar, like when they're fighting each other.
Yeah,
that was some intense lightsaber action, man. Both of them dudes were like
and the two of them, he's like Anakin, and he's like,
I saw people complain about that, like, why don't people fight like this in the sequels anymore? And people forget these are like two Jedis at the peak, right?
Yeah.
Like, that was awesome.
We don't have
even in episodes 4, 5, and 6, there are no more Jedi, so nobody's properly trained. You see a couple backflips done by Luke Skywalker, but nothing like that. Like the choreography and the fights. Oh, they had so much fun with it. And then, so it makes sense that the sequels don't have fights like this.
Yeah. So you have this epic lightsaber fight on this lava planet, which is Mustafar, right? It's just lava. And you have this great back and forth between these two people who used to be best friends and now have turned on each other. And the most, like, one of the, like, before the epic scene that, you know, really, like, for Ewan McGregor just nails it and takes it all home. He's looking into Anakin's, like, eyes, and
that was like, good, man. You were my brother.
And he's like, he realizes there's no good in him at all. And he's like, he says, my master, and oh man, and then he jumps, and he jumps to the high ground. And he's like, it's over, Anakin. I've won. I have the high ground. And then Anakin's like, no, dog. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, that's exactly how it went. Boy, you're doing so good. And then you were like, no, dog. He turned into Randy Jackson. Like, what?
Nah, dog. And so he jumps and, of course, flips over Obi-Wan. I don't know if that was the smartest move. And, of course, Obi-Wan slices one arm off and two legs, and he's just rolling down the hill trying to catch himself.
He didn't even slice the arm that was already replaced.
I know, right? He sliced the other one, so he has one, like, metal arm and no arm. Yeah, there's lava. And so this is obviously still
right, it happens in the expanded universe that he does have a place there.
He probably wants.
Yeah, man, that was like I said, there's some credibility and there's some amazing things in this movie, and I really like that part. I thought that part was like that hits you, right? Like, these two were friends. Like, he practically raised him as a little brother, and now they're fighting because, well, Anakin's lost his goddamn mind, and he watches him, like, he just leaves him burning.
Well, let's not forget, he's like, you are my brother, Anakin. Oh my god. Oh man, he's like, I want you. And like,
oh yeah, the delivery. Oh hey.
Well, that was a good delivery by Hayden. I'll give him that one. And as he starts, and his legs start burning up, he's like, you are supposed to destroy this thing, not join them.
Oh yeah, he was supposed to bring balance to the Force, right? Like, it was a prophecy.
And it's such a good line, and you just see it, and so he has to leave him. He leaves them. He heads back to the ship, and C-3PO is like, something's wrong with Leia, and so they get on the ship, and she's
no, not Leia, Padme. Leia is causing the problem.
Leia's coming. She's not there yet. Yes, well, I think, and that's the problem, right? He needed a father, but his father would have been Qui-Gon Jinn, but he got killed, like, because Ewan McGregor was just another apprentice back in that time period. He was a master yet, so I read Rouge. That would be cool. Moulin Rouge. It also has Ewan McGregor in it. Yes, not bring it to darkness. That's what it is. Yes, I'm sorry. There's only so many women.
Yes, he did. Yeah, he had a couple of chances to kill him, and he didn't.
We saw Obi-Wan. We watched that show. What did we rate Obi-Wan?
I dug most of it. Right, I like the fight.
We did like it, especially with that.
There were a couple of crappy little things that, like, putting Flea in there from.
You didn't like when Flea shows up? Or
no, I hate when they put, like, Ed Sheeran in Game of Thrones and Flea from freaking oh my god, what's the name of the band?
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Thank you.
Oh,
yeah.
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 So
on.
he leaves and takes Leia. I keep saying Leia now.
Close
to get medical attention. Meanwhile, on Coruscant, Yoda now faces the Emperor, and they have a battle on the Senate floor. I mean, it's empty by this point, right? But unfortunately, the Emperor is too strong, and Yoda has to escape on Bail Organa's ship, and he's just too strong. I need to leave. And meanwhile, when Obi-Wan takes Padme to the medical unit, she is pumping her babies out, naming them real fast, like no consideration at all. Look, there we go.
Is this something that they had talked about?
I guess they must have had a conversation.
I love Obi-Wan translating for the audience, right? Like you have the robot there that's talking in a different language, and he's like,
I don't think that's what she said.
This is a boy. Luke. Yeah, what the hell? Like, okay, sure. So yeah. Unfortunately, Padme doesn't make it.
But she doesn't know that Anakin was left for dead. And so she's like, don't give up on him, Obi-Wan. There's still good in him. And he's thinking to himself, I left him to die. So he's gone. He
ain't going nowhere.
He's gone. Man is burning up. But of course, Palpatine is able to find him, and his little droids take him back. And so as you see her giving birth, at the same time you see his body being worked on by the droids. You see the formation of the Darth Vader costume. Then she dies, and when he wakes up as Darth Vader, he steps out, and he's all ugh, and he looks over at the Emperor, and he's like, Padme? And he's like, I'm sorry, she died.
She didn't make it, dude. And then you get one of those.
But don't worry, we have time to and he goes, no, which is our favorite line of the whole thing.
I don't know how anybody else's theater was, but when I went to watch this in the theater, there were a few of us that were legit cracking up, like, what?
Oh yeah, I forgot to put this one in there too.
You would destroy the Sith, not join them. Duh.
So sad. All right, so he becomes Darth Vader. And then on our epilogue, we see Obi-Wan splitting the twins up. So one of them, Obi-Wan takes with him to go back to Anakin's home planet, and then Tatooine. And the other one is given to Bail Organa and his wife. They've always wanted a child, so they take Leia, and they're like, we raise her like she's one of our own, which is interesting in Andor when he's taught. Never mind, we won't spoil it. But when he's talking about Mothma. But all right, so you see him delivering Luke to his aunt and uncle, to Anakin's aunt and uncle, step aunt and uncle, and then you see him kind of settle on nearby, and you see Yoda, we have to I'm gonna go and hide, I'm gonna work on the Force, I'm gonna do all this stuff, you do the same, let's separate these kids. And then that's Revenge of the Sith, man.
Yeah, it ends with the Tales of the Jedi theme playing in the background with Owen and his lady looking at the two sons. Very reminiscent of A New Hope, right? Like where Luke is looking at the sons.
Yes. And let's not forget the actress who plays Beru.
She joined the Fallout Boy cult, right?
Not the Fallout Boy, the Nexium cult. With the girl from Smallville.
What's the difference?
She was part of the documentary. She was part of the whole.
Oh, you didn't get the documentary yet.
Then.
Okay.
All right. So that was it, guys. I mean.
Yeah, that's Revenge of the Sith as a whole.
Yeah.
We've joked about the dialogue quite a bit here. It does have some pretty bad dialogue, but not every line. And a lot of it, the actors and actresses were great. I thought, for the most part. I still, by this point, wasn't sold on Anakin, the actor. He was pretty awful in 2. And in this one, he was a little bit better. Maybe it was just because I was used to him. But still, just some of the delivery was just bad. Ewan McGregor though kills it. He was great
Well,
as
you can just
playing a
tell
character that was already well established, right?
by a
Yeah.
very well established actor too. It's like Alec Guinness was like no laughing matter.
Oh yeah,
So
that guy was phenomenal.
yeah, yeah. So
So let's see. But there were some really good in here. Yes, it's a lot of CGI, but the music is amazing in this. Like I love the score in this movie.
it is
I
one of my
thought
favorite
parts of
scores.
the fighting was awesome. Like the whole Mustafar thing, I thought was great. Yeah, it's ridiculous. They're jumping around on top of like these little tiny steps that are floating on top of lava. God knows what any of that was originally supposed to be, but it just worked, right? Like I thought it worked. And then there were some really good deliveries there during that time.
It's
Um,
true.
I'm trying to think of other things that I did really enjoy about this. Uh, I want to say I really like the beginning, like the ships, like
Yeah,
when they're going in to rescue the Chancellor. Thought that was really cool.
yeah.
And even though some of the dialogue was a little cheesy, it still worked. These two have been working together for a while now, so they have to joke about some of these things and some of these horrible situations that are happening to them.
Yeah, but you would see that in like a Mission Impossible. You'd see that in like a Lethal Weapon. So it's not like
Absolutely.
completely unheard of. And I think it was cute that especially because at this point, Anakin's now just a Jedi, right? He's no longer an apprentice, but now they're partners, even though he's not a master yet. So at this point, there's some level of that established like camaraderie. So
Yeah.
for me, I'm good with the joking. That made sense. I mean, did all the jokes land all the time? No, they seem a little forced.
Brent.
Yeah, but who's talking to Brent? But that's just because
now we're talking about the things we enjoyed about it.
Yeah.
What else did you enjoy?
I really enjoy the sequence of Order 66. I think
that was rough.
Purposes, that was really well done in how they laid it out with the juxtaposition of the scenes of seeing the Jedi. I think that was a really good segment or sequence to me. And that really did heighten it for me, where there was a lot of middle parts that were, yes, kind of boring, like listening to them talk back and forth about how we think that Darth Sidious is bad and the Jedi is refusing. There's a lot of moments in there because the dialogue isn't strong that makes it seem like it's slow. And then, the love story kind of falls flat for me a lot of the times. But then you get this part and it's just, I thought it was well executed. And then you also, after that, get the Battle of Mustafar, and I thought that is just, will always be one of my favorite scenes in cinema, mainly because I think just Ewan McGregor and even Hayden Christensen they did a good job playing off each other in that they understood the assignment. So I really liked it. I also enjoyed shirtless Hayden Christensen when he woke up. You mean from his nightmare?
Yeah, from his nightmare.
And he comes out.
Hot Vader.
Yeah,
the intro was one of the best moments in Star Wars. I agree. I think I really like that.
Yeah.
Honestly,
elements of Star Wars.
This is the best one out of the prequels, I think. I like this one the most. I think I like the idea of the making it a little bit darker, right? Like making it PG-13 because it goes a little bit. It could have gone darker, absolutely. I mean, we've seen elements of that in Andor, but for what it was, my gosh.
And at this point, they weren't really willing to go that far.
Well, they still have to sell toys, right? They still have to sell toys and make it marketable. No, I thought it was fun. Like I know I've been picking on the dialogue and the delivery, and some of the scenes and the overuse of CGI, but I remember having fun in the movie theater with this one because when 2 came out, I was like, I think I'm done with Star Wars. This was bad.
Yeah.
And Jar Jar didn't even get a line in this one. We just see him in one scene at the funeral.
Oh yeah, he's just like a senator. Yeah, which is fine by me. It's okay. I'm fine with that. No, I mean, and we for all the jokes we make about the dialogue, let's be honest. At least in my mind, it's memorable. It is still memorable. I still there are bad movies where it's so bad I can't even be bothered to remember the dialogue or care for it. At least because the actors, at least for maybe, you can argue maybe Hayden Christensen wasn't, I don't know, trying. There is a lot of dialogue that I do remember and that I do feel like I would quote. Oh, hold on a second. like this. Hold on.
There's no telling what she's going to go and get. Jar Jar says, "Excuse me, sorry." And does he? When was that, Ethan? Was that at the beginning or was that towards the end? Little kids did like.
But you know who else loved Revenge of the Sith so much they put it on their stuff? That would be Pete Wentz. He put it on his hoodies that he made in his clandestine industries. Like, it's not the exact quote because I think you'd probably get sued for that. But yeah, I mean,
so he made a semi. You know what? I can't. No, I'm not even gonna. The beginning when they first land and the senators meet them. Oh, that's right. He was at the beginning. Jar Jar didn't have his moments to shine as the real Sith. Oh, Amanda's got all the deep cuts, guys. I don't even know why.
What, Amanda? That's the truth.
No, it's good. Yeah, let's boo that. Absolutely, I agree with that. MT.
So I mean,
what So I like the score.
Yeah,
I like a lot of the movie. I thought it was fun. I thought it was great. Dark. I'm pretty sure they probably aren't going to show any kids getting killed on screen because again, they have to sell toys. But if I were a kid watching that, I'd be like, "Holy crap, that's messed up."
Yeah. So
overall, I think going back and rewatching this one, I don't think it was as bad. If we're answering the question, was it really that bad? I don't think it was as bad. No. I think 2 and 1 or 2 especially is a lot worse.
Same.
I would love to go back and rewatch the sequels just to see where I put them now. Maybe.
Are you talking about
7, 8, and 9? 7, 8, and 9.
Oh, of course. We should do one like The Last Jedi, The Last Jedi, because that's the most hotly tested.
The Last Jedi is very divisive. People hate it. I remember walking out of the theater. You remember that? I walked out of the theater and you guys were like, "Man, that was good," and I was like, "I'm confused." That was one of the worst and best Star Wars movies I've ever seen.
I know. That's why I was like, I would like to go back and rewatch this. We should do
Last Jedi had some amazing scenes and some that I'm like, I don't know if this is gonna work. So I am curious to see rewatching them. What I think now. I think it was a good movie. I don't know if it was a good Star Wars movie. But let's go back to this one. What would you rate it? Anybody that has watched it? Anybody that has watched, I'm sure most of you all here have. What would you all rate Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith? I'm gonna let my wonderful co-host go first. What would you give this out of 10, Amanda?
7.5.
You said this is your first. This is your favorite, right? You said this is your favorite.
My favorite, yeah. So I would give it.
It's a 7.5. So the top tier for you is 7.5. No, come on.
No, I give it an 8 out of 10.
Okay.
That's good.
No, it is good. I wasn't saying it was bad. For me, I think this is like a 7.5. Like 7.5 is what I was gonna give it. I had a lot of fun. I thought it was great, and rewatching it, as much as I laughed through some scenes, I was like, "Oh, I forgot about how good this was and how fun this was." So it was 7.5. I think it's it did bring back spark up ideas. Like maybe I overhated the sequels more than I should have.
Yeah.
Maybe I should be a little more, lenient. Like I'll give them a little bit of. So yeah, I'm curious to go back. Yeah, and yes, this is the best one at least for me, out of the original 3, or the prequels, out of the prequels, not the original.
I have to admit, I think this might be because I didn't see Phantom Menace because my parents were not Star Wars fans. My mom was a Star Trek fan, so we grew up watching, Star Trek. What's the one with? Oh my gosh.
Colin got that up.
Star Trek. What's the one with Patrick Stewart?
There's 3 movies with Patrick Stewart.
No, the TV show. What's the TV show?
Next Generation?
Yeah, Next Generation. So I grew up watching a lot of Star Trek. My mom was not a Star Wars kid. And my dad was definitely not. So for me, we didn't see Phantom Menace in theaters. I saw it afterwards. I just saw a lot of it because it was all over TRL because of Weird Al Yankovic. I think I saw Attack of the Clones in theaters, but this is the one Attack of the Clones where I was like, oh, Hayden Christensen's kind of cute, even with that weird braid and all that stuff. But this one, my sister and I actually went like opening night, waited in line, like to see it in theaters, like a huge ass line. Like
yeah, I hope we get back to those days of waiting in line. I remember watching episode 1 and not being able to sit next to my friends, and we waited for hours for that movie. I'm gonna click through here and see what people gave it, and see. I said 7.5. Amanda gave it a 7. 66 out of 10. Revenge of the Sith, 6 out of 10. 8 out of 10. 9 out of 10. It's great. 8 out of 10. 7 out of 10. 7.5. 8 out of 10.
We do love
it a 9 out of 10, but I'm a slut for a 3. Cool. That's what's up. 6 out of 10, 7, but I'm feeling good. 7.5. 5 out of 10, missed potential, but the lightsaber fight saved it. 9 out of 10, nostalgic glass. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Return of the Jedi, for me, probably 9.5.
Brings you back to a better time.
7, simpler times, before the internet. No.
Because YouTube, I think, was 2005. So definitely
before social media or
before social media.
MySpace was around.
MySpace
3 on the charts, number 5 in my heart. Not episode 2. I almost walked out. Oh yeah, episode 2 was good. 4 out of 10 from Bruce. Hey. Had the highest ceiling. Kenobi mystery plot was S tier, but the editing just botched the flow. Don't forget the animated big screen Clone Wars movie also. Did we do a rating of all the Star Wars movies at one time, Amanda, on our show? Maybe I should ask James.
I don't know.
I hate Ewoks with a passion. Just like you hate sand. So this is the 3rd best Star Wars. Oh, Ewoks for the win, baby. Ewoks for the win. Omar, Amanda, did you like Solo? It was okay. I've only seen it one time. I'd like to go back and watch that one. Does that one get hate?
Yeah, it does. It does. It's not a well-liked for a Star Wars movie. And it's not like Alden Ehrenbeck, that's his name, Ehrenbach. He's fine in the role. It's just I think it's the story overall wasn't very strong. I think that Donald Glover, Childish Gambino, did great as Lando. Amelia Clarke, for all intents and purposes, I would say she's not like
Karai?
Yes.
What's her name?
Yeah, she's not the best actress.
Oh, really? I thought she was great. But I've only seen her in Game of Thrones and that.
Yeah, I've seen her in other stuff, and I'm never like sold on her as like, I think she did fine for Game of Thrones, but she's not the strongest Game of Thrones actor.
Oh, we didn't do a Star Wars tier maker. Well, maybe.
Now, what do we include in this? Do we include the animated?
Any theatrical releases, right? Because if we start including the it's hard because if we do the shows, you'd have to watch a lot. Clone Wars had 6 seasons. 6 seasons. Rebels had 3. Bad Batch has 2. Did Rebels have 3 or 4? Bad Batch has 2. Yeah, so that's a lot of watching.
So much content to be clear.
Had them cancel the other side movies they had planned. Didn't they do a lot of reshoots with Solo too?
They did. They did a lot of
solid, to be honest.
Nothing changed directors, if I'm not mistaken.
Rebels had 4. Woo! 4. Yes, Battle for Andor, baby, all the way. I got excited when I heard about Andor, and I thought, did you say Andor? Like, I'm all for Ewoks movie. Don't forget the Droids cartoon, the Ewoks cartoon.
Christmas special.
Yeah, but that's like 30 minutes.
Solo, they had to do it because Lord and Miller were the directors, but they were fired midway through because of creative differences, and they brought in Ron Howard.
Yeah, Ron Howard's a solid director.
Yes. I mean, and it was directed fine.
I've only seen it once. I don't know how many times you've seen it. I don't know. Maybe it'd be nice. Going back and rewatching Rogue One, I thought it was an excellent movie. I did not like that movie when I saw it in the theater.
I loved Rogue One, and that I was just rewatching it just because of they better cut Cassian's hair by the end of episode 12 because
look at you being a key grip.
Boy, don't got long hair. And that, I was
there was also Star Wars Visions, right? Like
I saw those. Yeah. They have a lot of Star Wars stuff.
Rogue One as my emotional support movie in college. And just like that, I feel old, Harris. Also, our TV special droids, The Great Heap. Yeah, there's so much. Let's stick to just the movies. Whew. Rebels is one of the best Star Wars TV series. I agree. See, I also like Clone Wars. I thought Clone Wars was excellent. Rebels is a great follow-up. And Visions, I thought it was. I've only seen season 1. I haven't seen anything else. Now, next week, we are going to review the Eternaut. I suggested it to Amanda. It's one of my favorite non-superhero comics of all time. It's got a lot of like deep history behind the creator and the unfortunately, the things that happened after making this comic. And it's a comic from the 50s, and Netflix is adapting it. Now, it is in Spanish, I guess you can watch it dubbed in English, but I'm very, very excited to see what they do with, because it's such a great comic book. And Cad Bane was just okay. Hearing his teen voice was weird. Omar, Ewok movies were big screen movies in the UK and other parts. It was in Peru because I saw both of them. How did people feel about Ahsoka? I don't know. We reviewed it here.
I thought we reviewed Ahsoka because we talked about
what we gave the.
I don't remember, James.
I remember liking some of it. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think we liked some of it.
Yeah,
but not all of it. Did we?
I mean, Hayden Christensen showed up in that was a surprise.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, he's getting.
I mean, they had just had him in Obi-Wan Kenobi, right? So it would be really cool.
But at least this way, he was able. Yeah, they brought him back.
Yes, with Chopper, like you know, it's a good. Oh yeah, yeah. I know we reviewed because everybody kept calling her Shin Hottie.
Oh God.
The internet. The Eternaut, was it reissued? You're talking about reprinting it? No, but I did talk to my contact at Fantagraphics, and they said they're talking about reprinting that Mort Cinder and the follow-up Eternaut, which was not done by the original creators. So both of us gave it a 7 out of 10.
Just episodes 1 and 2. Okay, we didn't do the whole thing.
Yes, and rest in peace, Ray Stevenson. Man, we loved him. Actually, we did a "Was It Really That Bad" on the Punisher.
We did against Punisher,
and it was so good. Like it got a lot of hate for no reason. It was, or at least we both liked it. I like Ahsoka, but I like the cartoons a lot, so I was pretty right. Because it is like at season 4, 5 of Rebels, right? That's
it was essentially, yeah.
Do you watch your anime dubbed or subbed? I'm not really snooty about it. Like, depends on how I watched it when I was younger. So some things I like dubbed and some things I like subbed. Unless it's Studio Ghibli films, I will watch only subbed. I don't think I've ever seen, with the exception of the original Fox release of Kiki's Delivery Service and My Neighbor Totoro, I've never seen them dubbed. I've only seen them subtitled. Omar, before you go, the world must know that Alf make the top 20. You will find out next Thursday. Because the poll ends tomorrow. We are announcing the top 60 next Thursday. Warzone's amazing. Dude, Ryan, it was good. I like the Acolyte more than Phantom Menace.
Bold statement, Brian Hall.
Ooh. We gave it a 4 out of 10.
We haven't rated. We have not.
What did we give episode 2? Do you remember?
Didn't he just put it up there? I don't know.
No, he put the Acolyte up there.
Oh, I don't remember what we gave Attack the Clones. James, are you still in the chat?
James, I can do your own homework.
He's like,
man, those are some thoughts, Brian. I don't know. I wasn't the biggest fan of episode 1, and I went to see it 3 times, man. Because that first time I was like, okay, maybe I just wasn't feeling it.
Would I like it more if Weird Al Yankovic did a Acolyte like parody song for some reason? Maybe.
Where did that even come from? What?
It's like Phantom because the junkyard slave isn't even old enough to shave, but he could use the Force. They say, "Oh, did you see?"
Yeah, we gave it. What did we give the Acolyte, James? Okay, so he said
did that already. Oh my god!
You know what? I'm not a good listener. Okay,
it was also 4 out of 10.
Couples counseling. Guess what comes up all the time?
Then you don't listen. I got it.
Unless I'm interested in.
Yes, I know.
Is the subject me? Then yes, I'm listening. Punisher has had 4 great actors. That's right. I like Dolph Lundgren too, brother.
Jane, yeah.
I like Dolph Lundgren. It was filmed in Australia, wasn't it? He did 2 Star Wars spoofs. He did the Yoda song too. I also saw it 3 times, and it was just big disappointment. I hated Jar Jar in the week story.
The story.
Are you a space angel? What did he call? What did he say? Because I always make fun of Spider-Man for doing that. Is that an angel, Aunt May? But I think it was something very similar. It was are you a space angel or something like?
Apparently, I liked.
Here we go. I did. Okay, I hated them equally. Apparently, I gave Acolyte season 1 a 4 out of 10, and Amanda liked it a little more than episode 2. So there you go, Brian. I don't know which I hate more.
We don't, but we haven't done Phantom Menace, so now we don't know that for sure.
They took Acolyte off Disney, didn't they? Never watched. I don't think they took Willow off of Disney, but not Acolyte.
I think they took Acolyte off because I think I saw it on in the Star Wars. Like if you go to the space to like watch everything in all of Star Wars, I'm pretty sure that it's in there.
Yeah, I can't imagine them taking off any Star Wars, even the bad ones. I mean, we got sakes, we still have Secret Invasion up there. And I don't think anybody claims that one. So episode 1 on VHS, I still remember pre-ordering. No, I bought it on DVD. It was one of my early pre-orders on DVD. You're in luck. Kiki's back on the big screen in a few weeks. Yeah, Kiki. All the Studio Ghibli films, for the most part, go back to theater during the summer. Like they have a summer of like Studio Ghibli films.
Yeah.
Phantom Menace was the first Star Wars movie I took my son to. He was 9 that year. I was so ashamed. But the important thing was, Bruce, did he like it?
Yeah.
Because kids gravitate towards Jar Jar Binks, right?
Yeah. I mean, you know, a lot of that's why I was asking Alex how old he is, because I think that there is like something to be said about when you first experience this stuff, if it's going to be your favorite or not. And I think we're now at that point where you are seeing a renewed love for the prequels that wasn't there when we were in 2005, 2006. But because all the kids that went to go see those films, now they're all adults, they're all on the internet. Now they are experiencing and expressing their joy. So who knows? In like 10 years, maybe everyone's going to be like, Last Jedi rules. Everyone could just suck my, like, who knows?
Suck my what? My Darth balls?
My Ewan McGregor schlong.
Wow. Also, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade getting a big screen release this summer. That's my favorite Indiana Jones. I love that movie. I love the relationship between him and his father in that movie. And I went to go see that with my dad, and we both really liked it. Yeah. And it's funny because Sean Connery was only like 11 or 12 years older than Harrison Ford playing, so he played his dad. It's my favorite Indiana Jones, man. I love it. Are you an angel? I should have known my daughter.
I get it because
show my daughter the prequels first. I showed her A New Hope when she was around 8, and she said it was boring. It is a bit boring, and freaking Luke comes off like a whiny brat. But I don't want to.
Yeah, best you want to
like as much crap as I give Anakin, he totally his son totally is just like his father.
Yes.
Let's see. Agree, Omar. My kids request episode 1 because they love the pod race. If they like it, then that's fine. I think so, right? That's what matters. How about Ryan Gosling, the upcoming Star
Wars? That came out of nowhere.
Didn't they do like a Star Wars Japan celebration? And
then they announced it. Wild, because it was so random.
Right. No, I exposed him to the original 3 on Laserdiscs well before that, so he was.
Well, your child must have very highly refined taste. I can
assure you, if I showed my kids like Jar Jar. Oh man!
If I show my 9-year-old the first 3 Star Wars, I can guarantee you she'd be like, "Meh." Well, that's how she's Lord of the Rings right now. So,
like, my daughter really likes her first Star Wars was Episode 7. And I think that's why I kind of like Episode 7. I give that one. A pass a lot because I remember my kiddo clapping when Rey got the lightsaber.
Yeah.
And she loved BB-8. Like BB-8 to her was like my R2, right, growing up.
They did a good job with that droid.
And that was a practical effect. That little ball, that was cool.
I know, that was cool. I still am interested.
Someone brought up the age difference between Harrison Ford and Sean Connery. His response was like, well, Sean. My youngest grade school nephew left 20 minutes into New Hope dull. They have watched the Rey movies, however, with no trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it really depends on the times, the age you are when you first watch these.
Yeah,
Pod race is fun. That part never bugged me. That part I remember liking that, and the kid genuinely looks like he's having fun.
Yeah, that was a good part.
Have you watched the fan-made edit of Obi-Wan Darth Vader fight from A New Hope? It's on YouTube, and it's awesome. No.
I want to.
Clerks cartoon. Objection. The pod race scene was really cool. We just reviewed Clerks for the first time.
Just reviewed Clerks. That was a fun review.
That's pod racing. That's the line, man. I think mine was ESB because they played it nonstop on HBO. Empire Strikes Back. Yeah. The early 80s, along with The Last Dragon. I just listened to The Last Dragon soundtrack. I love that soundtrack. I was driving to Georgia. And Modern Problems. You always remember those movies, right? Like when you're younger on HBO. Like for me, it was like Monster Squad when I was younger. Clerks, Amanda and Omar, 9 out of 10.
That's right.
Last Dragon is 40 now.
Dang.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So it came out in 85?
Yeah. Damn. It's old. We're all getting older. All right. Anything else, Amanda? Go and watch Eternaut, everybody. That's your homework.
Yes. Eternaut. It's a TV series, too. So it's not a movie. It's a TV series on Netflix. I think
there's 6 episodes, right?
6 episodes, yeah. Because I was like, I can't watch 6 episodes in one day. You're like, no, I mean, for next week.
She made me do it before.
When did I make you do that?
Arjun, you get 1 10-minute recommendation. That's what you get. Finn should have been a Jedi. He was right.
He was.
Like, I'm more sensitive.
I know he's talked about that too recently too. John Boyega has.
Has he? Just recently?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, about how I think originally in the script, but they changed everything after The Last Jedi.
Oh yeah, it was
there was either a deleted scene, if I remember correctly. Hold on, before we go, Jedi. Hold on. They originally. There was a cut where Finn confirmed that he was a Jedi. In the scene, Finn was meant to tell Rey he was a Jedi before they were swallowed by quicksand in Pisana. Boyega states there was multiple takes where he said, "I'm a Jedi," while the final cut teases his Force sensitivity. The explicit confirmation was removed. So.
Huh. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
It would have been awesome to see that. It's somehow Palpatine returned.
People hate that, but I'm like, it actually makes sense, right? We had a movie
did a pretty good job delivering that one.
It was just, we had a movie called, I just talked about how smart the Star Wars audience is. We had a movie called Attack of the Clones. Of course Palpatine was going to return. You don't need it spoon fed to you, but it was so dumb that they did the scroll. They could have just mentioned it. Like, how about that clone, huh?
Yep.
Disney took Finn out of the Japanese poster. That was a Japanese marketing team. I remember reading about that.
Yeah.
And he had a problem with that.
As he should.
It was an issue with, African American, like being put in the background of the
it's just poster. In that culture there, they have skin whitening products. They do all that kind of stuff. It's a but
I'm not getting part of this conversation. I'm getting canceled. I'm interested to see where you're going with it, though.
I do know
a marketing company in Japan, not the people, not the whole country.
Okay, but there's a reason why they chose to do it that way, but that's fine. Okay.
Blood hunts, yes. That said, there was no story plan there for episodes 4, 5, and 6. That is true. You're right about that. Yes, Amanda. What is this about?
I don't know. Okay, just look it up. Anyway.
Everybody trying to be a Super Saiyan?
Thank you, King's Pork album, said Amanda.
Amanda, get that! Don't give her that.
Tells me I'm right. But soon with the tariffs on China, we're not gonna. That market's not going to matter.
Okay, where's this conversation going?
So saying it's not going to matter.
You're not going to be able to get your whitening skincare? What are you trying to say?
No, I mean, we're just going to have to not factor those people into the conversation at box office because it's not going to matter soon.
Okay.
Unless,
Quit being such a
unless
Debbie
I'm
Downer. We don't know that. Mandalorian. Oh, I like that. Why didn't you change your name?
From Amazing Amanda?
Yeah, for this episode only. Okay.
No, I don't.
I didn't say it. I didn't say it. I was thinking.
Sorry. I was just inferring.
This is what happens when
my mind was going to. I did not.
Kid starts thinking.
All right. Anyway,
Bitch is predicted to go over $200 million opening weekend. Oh, how is Thunderbolts performing? I forgot to ask you that. No, don't make that face.
It was a good movie. It was a good movie, and it made, I think, $76 million over opening weekend, which is okay. But Sinners is holding great. Like, its drop is like only like 20-some%.
That's good, considering Thunderbolts. So this is the third weekend it was up, right? Was it number 2?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, anyways, but I would say that Thunderbolts is doing okay. We'll see what happens in a little bit.
Huh.
Yeah.
What does it need?
Yeah, you're right, Harrison. It is definitely like I left the lesson about mental health. It was a really good movie. I think Marvel needs to like maybe try that a little bit more.
It was excellent. I loved it. I want more of the team, the ensemble.
More of that and less of Quantumania.
Yes, agreed.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. Like it seems like, and the cast seems like Omar making Amanda exposed thumbnail with a red arrow. Oh, people love them red arrows, don't they?
Yeah, they do. That'll get everyone to click on it.
Exposed. Okay. All right, Panda. Let's get out of here.
Okay, guys. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Remember to follow us on all of our social medias at NearMintCon. Remember to check us out on Spreadshop for great Near Mint condition merchandise, and also check us out on Patreon. For $1 a month or more, you can support us here in what we do and get some really cool perks along the way. Last but not least, if it's classy and cool, it must be Near Mint. Good journey to all are one. And if you feel it, chase it.
Shake it. Or chase it, whatever. Sinners is 244 million total. Needs 100 million more to break even. Oh, how is it?
It's fine though. I mean, it's still. Is
that worldwide?
I don't know.
I'm curious to see how Thunderbolts ends. Love you all, everybody. We are out of here for tonight. Don't forget, watch Eternaut.
Yes.
Join us next week. It'll be a lot of fun. Well, it's not a fun story, but it'll be fun to hang out with us. Whatever. Bye, you all.